Baseball is loaded with a diverse cast of personalities, and when it comes to pitchers, there's a few kinds that stand out. There are the ones who don't say much or show many expressions, go out there calmly and try to get outs. And then you have guys like Max Scherzer, people who want to rip your heart out. It's part of Scherzer's game. Without it, he may not be the pitcher he is today. He needs that fire and energy in order to pitch at his best. If he started going out on the mound singing lullabies in his head, he'd probably get shelled. He's just not the kind of guy who can stay calm and still be successful. He's in his own world. It's not uncommon for pitchers to be like that, as the great Pedro Martinez was pretty much the same way with his menacing look on the mound. There is another starting pitcher in today's game that is very into showing emotion and having antics, and that is Alek Manoah of the Toronto Blue Jays. Straight out of high school, Alek Manoah actually did not get drafted by a team, going on to enroll at West Virginia University, and by the end of his college days there, he straight up was dominating, winning the Big 12 Pitcher of the Year award, and then came the 2019 draft. It was almost a polar opposite scenario with Manoah this time around, going from an undrafted high schooler in 2016 to one of the most highly touted names in the 2019 MLB draft, getting drafted by the Toronto Blue Jays with the 11th overall pick, and after receiving his $4.5 million signing bonus, off his professional career began. Manoah didn't really take that long to reach the majors. In fact, it took less than 2 years. He didn't pitch at all in 2020 due to the canceled minor league season, but by the next year, the Blue Jays deemed him ready, calling him up in late May of 2021. Since joining the big leagues, Alek Manoah has been one of the best pitchers. It obviously hasn't been that long of a big league career so far, but it has been enough to show how much potential and talent this man has. He's incredible. Another thing he is, a punk. Now, yes, I know that seems harsh, but let me explain. By calling Alek Manoah a punk, I don't necessarily mean that in a negative way. Think of punk rock. You're not insulting rock, it's just a certain genre of music. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean it can't be a bad connotation, it's more so how you yourself interpret his behavior. Alek Manoah kind of has a punk-like attitude, at least when he's pitching. Max Scherzer is more of an angry pitcher. Manoah is a little more of, I guess, a show-off kind of pitcher. Again, that's not necessarily a bad thing. Players can have fun, but with how far they go with their antics is up to you to have an opinion on. There are multiple incidents, a little handful in fact, that kind of show how Alek Manoah the pitcher is in a nutshell. Less than a month after he was called up to the big leagues to join the Blue Jays, Manoah was already getting involved in on-field drama. In June of 2021, Manoah was pitching in Baltimore against the Orioles, and in the 4th inning gave up back-to-back jacks to give the Orioles a 5-2 lead. Manoah was not happy, taking his anger out on the very next hitter, Maikel Franco, intentionally throwing at and hitting him with a pitch, at least the league thought it was intentional, suspending him for 5 games. Manoah ended up having a really good 2021 rookie season, throwing 111 and 2/3 innings with a 3.22 ERA, striking out 127 hitters. As for 2022, he became an all-star. In the first half of the 2022 season, Alek Manoah made 18 starts, throwing 114 and 2/3 innings with a 2.28 ERA, punching out 103 hitters, getting selected to the All-Star game where he'd pitch a scoreless inning, striking out the side in the process. And then the second half began. The Blue Jays took on the Red Sox to kick off the second half, and in the second game of the series, Alek Manoah took the mound and dominated, getting the win, but not before messing a little bit with a couple Red Sox players. It all started after he struck out Franchy Cordero and had some words to say to him as Cordero walked back to the dugout. Bobby Dahlbeck then struck out to end the inning, and things got a little heated, with Manoah screaming over at the Red Sox dugout to sit down, with things quickly getting de-escalated. Well, Alek Manoah must have something against his fellow AL East opponents. First it was the Orioles, then the Red Sox, and now the Yankees. I guess the Rays better watch their backs. On Sunday afternoon, Manoah took the mound in an attempt to sweep the Yankees. The Yankees ended up avoiding that by winning the game, but it was what happened in the bottom of the 5th that had people talking, including Manoah himself. In the bottom of the 5th, Manoah hit Aaron Judge with a 92-mile-an-hour first pitch inside. Judge immediately looked upset, with Gerrit Cole jumping out of the Yankees dugout in anger, screaming over at Manoah, who was denying any intent. After the game, Cole had this to say, quote unquote, "Aaron got hit and we've been dusted several times, just one too many for my taste." Manoah, on the other hand, fired back at Cole and his reaction during the game, saying this.
Been struggling with my sinker for about 5-6 starts now, and I made a pitch and obviously hit Judge, and obviously I looked at him and I said, man, I'm not trying to do that, and I think he understood that, and I think if Gerrit wants to do something, he can walk past the Audi side next time.
Damn, those are fighting words. I guess Alek Manoah is one of those guys where you absolutely love him if he's on your team. Like, I'm sure Blue Jays fans would run through a brick wall for this man, and I totally understand that, but I can also understand why fans of other teams would despise his guts. Alek Manoah is a punk. Not in a good way, but not in a bad way either, if that makes sense. Let me know what you think about Alek Manoah. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.